Hello, I'm Greg Funfgeld, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our July 2021 Bach at Noon. We have a really wonderful program of music by Johann Sebastian Bach and the English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams, who admired Bach so much he said he was the greatest musician of all time. And he went on to say Bach was the right man at the right place at the right time. And it was just so wonderful to read Ralph Vaughan Williams talking about Bach, and I've shared that with you in previous months. But this program, again, I always encourage you to print the program as you listen. You can get it on our website, bach.org. We send it out to you, but if you have the program, then you know what movements are being played, you know the texts and the translations. These are incredible texts that Lawrence will be singing, and there's bios of all the soloists, so I encourage you to print the program and enjoy following along with that. We also encourage you to support us with a gift, which you can mail the old snail mail way, or you can go online and make a donation, but your support of these programs is essential to their ongoing offerings. I mean, these musical offerings, to use a Bach term, have meant a great deal to us, and your kind responses also mean a great deal to us. So your support in any amount is much appreciated, and thank you for that. Now we're going to meet Liz Field, our concertmaster, and talk about the Bach Violin Concerto. Well, it's the July Bach at Noon, and I'm so pleased that Liz Field, our concertmaster, is going to play for you the E major violin concerto of Johann Sebastian Bach. One of two violin concertos. We all wish he'd written more.
Yes, we certainly do.
But he wrote so many beautiful arias for the violin, with obbligato violin and of course the partitas and the sonatas. So as much as we wish there were additional concerti, we're grateful for all that we do have. When did you play the E major for the first time, Liz?
Oh my gosh. It's probably 20, 30 years ago. And we've done it a few times here.
Yep.
And I think we did it once with ballet dancers.
We did it with Taylor too, twice.
Which was wonderful. That was really fun doing it with dance. It's rhythmically so vital and so alive. You want to dance when you're playing it, so it seemed very logical.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Paul Taylor loved the music of Bach and set a number of his pieces to dance, and they're just spectacular pieces, and it's been a thrill for us to have them here. They were here this year, but because of the pandemic, they had to use recorded music, which we've never done with them before. But we were busy doing other things as well. So now, say a little bit about the concerto. Tell us what you enjoy.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for asking me to play it, because it is just a pure joy. This piece is just something about E major, even the key is just about sunniness, and it's just so much fun. So thank you for that.
I was thinking it's a perfect summertime
piece.
It
really is, it really is. So we think it was written in about 1723, when he was working in Curtin for Prince Leopold, who had commissioned a lot of secular instrumental music. So we have a lot of pieces that we're familiar with during that period. I think Brandenburg concertos and a lot of harpsichord concertos. And in fact, I think the violin concertos and the harpsichord concertos share a lot of the same material. What's interesting about this concerto is earlier when he was in Weimar, he had kind of, in his sort of self-education, he had spent a lot of time studying and copying, note by note, the concertos of Vivaldi and Corelli. So it's not that then he went and wrote concertos that were just like Vivaldi, but he kind of got that formal template from that. So it's really fun. So when you look at this, you can see that Italianate form, but then there's things in there that are Bach that you would never hear. So just for example, I mean, right in the open you get with a Vivaldi kind of thing where you have, which is, you get that a lot in, repeated notes. But in this concerto, you get things like, a chord on every single quarter note, and Vivaldi would never do that. So it has this incredible Bachian harmonic joy. I don't really know any other way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the middle movement, though, is full of pathos, and it's just so filled of the heart and spirit.
It's, after so many years of playing beautiful arias, we get to play all these in cantatas. And it's made me believe, first of all, even the fast movements are still vocal in my mind. I mean, Bach is such a melodist. Even when there's lots of notes on the page, there's always melody. But the slow movements, and it's just, he digs deep into your gut and just gives you the most incredible melodies. And then it seems very ornate. There seems like a lot of notes in it. And what I now believe that this is very uniquely Bach is that what I call it's composed ornamentation. So another composer might have written a similar melody, and they might have asked the performer to, maybe you would feel like you wanted to ornament, which we know that the purpose of ornamentation is to enhance the expression. But Bach gives you those notes. So it's really spectacular.
Sometimes you hear people come and they'll sing or play Bach and they'll add a lot of ornamentation, and I think most of that is already there.
It's there.
And adding more, sometimes it seems to me to get in the way. But Handel, you expect ornamentation. It's part
or
of the
Corelli
style.
or the Italians, sure.
Of course, all the Italians.
Yeah.
But with Bach, he gives you so much of what he wants.
And it's so brilliantly composed. I mean, honestly, it's better than any ornaments the rest of us are coming up with.
I think that's very true.
And so you have to kind of know that it's ornamental in expression, but it is composed. So you have to respect those two aspects of it. Mm-hmm. And this is something I have to say that I feel like I've learned from hearing singers, because it is so organic to the voice. And we have such fantastic soloists here at Bethlehem. I've learned so much from all of them. So
we're very fortunate. We have a lot of really spectacular singers, and we're learning from each other all the time. So now, before we hear the concerto, I know you just had a wonderful trip with your husband, Uri, who we're going to hear a little bit later in this program. And Liz met one of our beloved guarantors in Iceland. And he, Len and his wife, Sandra, they listened to every Bach at Noon, every moment of comfort, and you got to meet him. So tell us a little bit about that.
It was so fun. It was so wonderful. Len came, first of all, going to Iceland was just delightful, and I can just recommend it to anybody. And Len met us at a coffee shop in Reykjavik. And we sat down, and basically we just talked about Bethlehem the entire time. So Len, especially that slow moment, I'm thinking of you while I play that. So thank you for being a friend of Bethlehem, and thank you for that great coffee.
Well, Len and Sandra have been strong supporters of the choir for so long. Len used to sing in the choir, was a member of our board of managers, and then they moved to Iceland a number of years ago. And we miss them, but we know they're listening, and we think of them with great affection and a lot of gratitude for their incredible spirit and their very generous support.
Yes, we hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely, all the best. Well, now let's hear Liz in the Violin Concerto in E major of Johann Sebastian Bach. Well, I'm so pleased to have with me for this July Bach at Noon two people I've come to admire and respect and really enjoy working with. Lawrence Jones, our tenor soloist, and Uri Wassertzug. I probably said that more German than you're used to hearing it, I don't know.
Sounds great.
But who plays the viola and is the husband of our concertmaster, Liz Field. Talking with Lawrence a couple of months ago, he said, well, I would really love to do some of the hymns of Vaughan Williams for tenor and viola and piano. There is a string orchestra version, but we were talking about the version for tenor, viola, and piano. And I was immediately drawn to the idea because I love the music of Vaughan Williams, and I love to hear Lawrence sing in English. He sings in German magnificently, but I love to hear him sing in English. So I want to ask both of them about these pieces. Lawrence, I'll start with you. What drew you to these four hymns for tenor, viola, and accompaniment?
Well, I was, when we were talking about future repertoire for upcoming Bach at Noons, Vaughan Williams is always a good choice for chamber music. And actually, I wasn't that familiar with these four hymns as much as I was with the Merciless Beauty that we did last October, and on Wenlock Edge, the cycle for tenor, piano, and string quartet. But yeah, I just loved these hymns when I heard them, and then suggested it to you. So.
Well, I'm so grateful. And as we were talking about it, Uri was here to record another Bach at Noon, and I said, we're thinking about these Vaughan Williams pieces for tenor, viola, and accompaniment. And he said, oh, I know those pieces. That's a wonderful story. Tell us that story.
Yeah, well, it sparked such a great memory because when I was in undergraduate school at University of Maryland, one of the voice teachers on faculty was George Shirley, the amazing tenor who sang with the Met, and one of his students was going to do these pieces on a senior recital, and they asked me to play with them. And so it formed an indelible memory being in that studio and hearing George Shirley describe and sing examples. And he was just such a classy, elegant, well-spoken person. And the singing was, so it just kind of really etched itself in my memory. Very pleasant memories.
You could probably still hear his voice.
Oh, totally, yeah. No, it was such a treat.
And did he talk as much about the text as the music, or did he major on one thing or the other, or?
I think, he had obviously worked with the singer when I wasn't there. I think with us, he was mostly talking about matching moods and timing and things like that. I remember him mentioning that it's very modal.
Yes.
Which kind of slightly different than playing Bach in terms of how the things are tuned.
Yes.
And everything.
Good.
But and some of the harmonic changes just remind me so much of British folk music, and clearly folk music was influenced by Vaughan Williams, and he was influenced by folk music too.
Right.
So it was really neat to hear it in that context.
Yes, great. Well, I said before, hearing Lawrence sing in German, it's a wonderful thing. Hearing him sing in English is equally wonderful. But Lawrence, I wanted to ask you, as a singer, how do you approach these pieces and the texts? How do the texts, because you not only sing the words, but you sing the meaning of the words and the spirit of the words, the atmosphere. And I just love that about your singing. But how do you approach these texts?
I find that when I'm drawn to a particular piece of music, it's the music that comes first. I know that a lot of people feel that the music hangs on the words of when in a lot of vocal music, but yeah, oftentimes I'm drawn to the music first, and then oftentimes the composer is well versed in the poetry and setting the texts impeccably. So there's so much to work with already there. So, but yeah, for these pieces, I was drawn to the the music initially. And I really like the pairing of the viola and the tenor voice. There's a lot of, there's similar range.
Right.
Oftentimes in those Mozart and Haydn masses, the viola doubles the tenor part and vice versa. And so I especially in the third hymn, Come Love, Come Lord, the viola starts with a beautiful, serene melody, and then the tenor comes in almost, a couple minutes later, and takes over that tune, and then it's sort of a dialogue between the two. Yeah. So that's what really drew me to the pieces.
Yeah, it really is a dialogue or even a duet between
Yeah.
the two tenor voices. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to these two hymns of Ralph Vaughan Williams, we then have a Bach aria from Cantata 109, which is new to all of us. This is a fabulous cantata that Bach wrote for his first year in Leipzig for the 21st Sunday after Trinity. And the title of the cantata has a verse from the Gospel of Mark where an official whose son has been healed by Christ says, "Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief." And it's a very poignant thing in this cantata. And the tenor sings this torturous aria. It's amazing. He talks about how tentative is my hope, how anxious is my heart's troubles. It breaks the bruised reeds. The fear constantly causes new pain. It's just an amazing text. And Bach sets this in very angular melodic lines, very jagged rhythms, very sharp rhythms, often incredible leaps in the instruments and the voice, often augmented fourths, diminished sevenths, and there's a sense that the harmony never finds peace, that's constantly shifting. We were rehearsing yesterday and Uri said, "I can't believe that modulation, it was so extraordinary. It almost comes up and hits you in the face." But this amazing piece of music, and Lawrence, this was another piece that you had on your mind that you wanted to do. How did you discover it?
Just listening to Bach as you do, and I was looking specifically for arias with full strings, and it just really struck me.
Yeah.
And I actually, Loretta, our cellist, was saying when we were rehearsing it yesterday that it reminded her of Ach mein Sinn.
Ach mein Sinn, right? From the St. John Passion.
From the St. John Passion, and that's exactly what I thought when I first heard it. And I also love that aria.
Yep.
And you can even find that reference that it's similar to that aria in the Wikipedia page of this cantata.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, but I just love that the strings, that angular tormented sound between the tenor and the strings in the aria.
Yep.
So.
Well, one of the blessings of the pandemic has been that Uri has been able to come and play a lot of Bach at Noons with us over the last 12, 14 months.
Yeah,
Usually he's very busy with the Washington National Opera Orchestra and the Kennedy Center Orchestra, and he has a huge career. But because most of that was shut down, he's been able to come and play Bach with us. It's been so great, Uri, to have you here.
It's been a real treat, and to actually continue being able to work with singers is really nice, because my destiny seems to always be working with singers,
Good.
Either in the pit or on the stage.
Good. And Lawrence has become a much admired and much beloved soloist with the choir over the last couple of years. It's been really a pleasure to have both of you here. So thanks for joining us again. And now we'll hear the Vaughan Williams and that amazing Bach aria.
Made straight with longing expectation, wait the consecration of thy beauty. they may nevermore profane that holy place where thou hast chose to set thy face. And then, if ostive tongue shall be mute in the praises of thy deity, the stones out of the temple wall shall cry aloud and
Thank you so much for joining us for this July 2021 Bach at Noon. We're grateful to have you out there listening and for all of your kind responses and your generous gifts. Thank you very much. Before we say goodbye, I want to introduce you to our new executive director, Leila Breithaupt, who has started her work with us on June 15th, overlapped with Bridget George for 2 weeks, and on July 1st became our new executive director, and we're just delighted. But I thought our virtual audience and our friends around the country should meet Leila. We're all very excited about her having come to Bethlehem and joining us as part of the Bach Choir family. So Leila, welcome.
Thank you so much, Greg. I am just thrilled to be here, and I can't wait to meet all of our audience around the world, and to do our first festival, my first festival, together with the Bach Choir Bethlehem. It's quite a privilege to join this esteemed organization and to get to make the music of Bach and the spirit of Bach come to life.
Great. Leila is a wonderful musician in her own right, but she also has an MBA and lots of experience in arts management. So we have, you might say, the total package in our new executive director, and we wish you happiness, a deep sense of satisfaction, a real sense of peace and purpose, and a lot of joy. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much, Greg.
Okay. All the best to you. Enjoy your summer. Stay safe, stay healthy, take good care, and come back in August when Deshaun Burton will be coming back to join us. You'll hear some amazing arias by Handel, The Trumpet Shall Sound, from the Bach Christmas Oratorio, and from one of the Brahms 4 serious songs, and a concerto for 2 French horns by Antonio Vivaldi. So please come back in August. We'll see you then.